Now at McDonald's, get a $5 McChicken meal deal or a $6 McDouble meal deal. They come with small fries, a soft drink, and 4-piece McNuggets. We're going to need a bigger tray. Get more value with your meal deal with McValue.
Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher for delivery.
Queen Carvania stood haloed by the morning sun. An army hung on her every word.
My champions, I have sold my chariot on Carvana. 'Twas a lovely SUV, an inexplicably queenly offer. They're even coming to the castle to collect it. Tonight, we feast. An offer you can feast on. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
It's time to get your morning started with the news you need to know.
News update.
This is what's trending with DJ and PK. Hashtag NBA.
None of these people know anything. Nobody knows nothing. And I say that respectfully because we haven't made it to where anybody knows anything. I think it's important for people to understand we're not making this about attention and a spectacle. It's not about a decision or anything like that. He has a choice to make. He has a business choice to make. We're not going to sit here and decide or allow someone else to decide when he makes that decision or that choice. It's a business choice that he's making. And I think as an athlete, why is it that an athlete has to rush his choice? From a business perspective, you are making a choice between jobs, high-level jobs, and you've earned the right. You're a big-time executive that's with an unbelievable, arguably the best resume in the history of your job. Who's rushing you?
Okay.
Nobody.
That's Rich Paul, LeBron James' agent. And even for people who were pretty patient and not irritated, I think they're getting patient and impatient and irritated. But apparently there's no rush.
Got to play the victim, man. People are rushing us. Can't do it. Woe is me. I mean, you've had over a month. You've actually had longer because you knew the Lakers weren't going to renew you.
Yep.
That was pretty obvious. So no one's buying it. And continue to play the victim. Everybody wants to be the victim. I'm the victim working with you.
2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
I'm the victim working with Alex.
I didn't find it that irritating, but my gosh. Because literally everybody else is making a decision and there's a schedule to put out.
Oh, they can put out the schedule.
National TV partners all want his games.
Sure, but he can tell Adam Silver, this is what I'm going to do, but I don't want to announce it until October.
It'll leak. No trust.
It'll leak. I don't know about it'll leak.
It will leak. Will Chamberlain's Laker warm-up jacket sells for $89,600. You know anybody who's into memorabilia? Down there in L.A., you come across those types at all? I don't know. Those people up here, I guess, are into memorabilia too.
I think they're all over the country.
Yeah,
I do.
That's a crazy amount of money for a warm-up jacket.
Actually, for a warm-up jacket, I didn't think it was that crazy compared to what some of the other stuff is out there that is mind-boggling. $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, whatever, a card. When you think about it from that perspective, I saw that and thought, no.
At least you could put the warm-up jacket on the wall. It's more of a talking point or something.
Well, you can wear it to parties. I interviewed Wilt. Didn't like my question one time.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
How'd you end up interviewing him?
He called me up. No, there was in San Pedro, California. They did this thing where they started a sports walk of fame. You know, like the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
And so they would have in downtown there, right by Petros Papadakis' family's Greek restaurant. They would put the thing in there, have the name in the sidewalk, and then they'd have a ship that would be docked because the harbor was right across the street, basically. And then they'd have a big lunch, big fancy spiel.
Oh.
And so
he got honored at that, and you covered it for the local paper and got to interact with him.
Yeah. And so I asked him something along the lines, come on, Walt, you've had so many awards. Where's this? This. I kind of slanted it, trying to get a reaction. This can't be that big of a deal. Easy, stilt. So he didn't like the question.
DJ and PK.
Hashtag NFL.
Owners expect another extension for Roger Goodell in the coming months. Contract negotiations, his current contract ends in March. Negotiations already apparently pretty far down the road. They got a new TV deal coming up. He's expected to have a big role in that. He's made them a lot of money. He will continue to make them even more money. 18th game coming, more international games, more cash flowing in. Another $1 billion worth of revenue growth headed their way. So Roger Goodell expected to get another contract.
Did he do it or did the sport do it?
It's probably a combination of both, but since he was there and it was happening, he gets to cash in. I guess that he's probably had to push a little bit on the international front, but it does seem like it's there for the taking. People like events. And it's an event in London. It's an event in Mexico City. It's become an event in Brazil, apparently. It'll be an event in Germany. And he'll keep targeting big European cities and adding a few more spots around the globe. Obviously, going to Australia this year. Packers and defensive tackle Devontae Wyatt reached a 3-year, $57 million contract extension. That former Steelers star Le'Veon Bell arrested in Ohio in a warrant tied to a child support case. So,
well, that's a bad story. Let's end it on a good story, though.
What do you have?
Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers taking photos, put them up on social media. Hashtag fam. Except he hasn't had much interaction with his mom, his dad, or sibling. And all of a sudden, picture of mom, dad, and sibling, and everybody looking like they're having a good time. So, whatever the issue or issues were, apparently they've come to some type of terms with them. They look like they were smiling and happy, so that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Time healing wounds there, I guess.
Nice.
DJ and PK.
Hashtag college football.
So they're real. People have talked about that. They've opined about the frustrations that bring them to the point of saying we should look at something significantly different. I do not believe that is a leverage point. I think that's just honest communication. And so understand that beneath the observation is frustration. But I also know the pride with which I spoke of 13 national championships. And there is meaning and value. And I do think a national expectation that we participate in a national organization. But that national organization must function in a healthy manner.
That's Greg Sankey, commissioner of the SEC, talking about the SEC breaking away. Honest conversations. It's not a leverage point. Sure it is. It can be an honest conversation, a leverage point at the same time. It's absolutely a leverage point. So will something get done in Congress? Because it's really not up to the NCAA or any other. Anything they do gets struck down in the courts. They've lost over and over again. So without antitrust protection or some kind of legislation, it's going to keep happening.
Antitrust.
Yep. It's going to keep happening.
I have no idea what that means. You're the antitrust. That's a.
I bet you had an ASU class that mentioned antitrust.
And I bet I didn't know it then. What do you flight attendants say when you get off the plane?
Bye-bye.
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 See ya. Go ahead, do it. Take Notre Dame, take BYU, take whoever you want, and go ahead and do it. Ruin the game. I'll show you. I'm going to take my ball and go home.
Wrecking NCAA tournaments everywhere.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Do it. And I dare you, as you would say.
A double dog dare you.
Well, you never say that. It's just somebody who doesn't shoot to three. It's a daring him to shoot. You never say double dog daring him to shoot. So, well, go ahead. Do it. Just quit talking about it and do it. Let's see how it looks.
Because it's a leverage point. He doesn't really want to do it.
Then stop talking about it.
That's how he gets leverage.
What leverage do they have? What leverage do they need that they don't have?
Trying to scare senators into voting for it.
Scare senators?
Intimidate them. Yep.
Well, first of all, if I take a senator from one party and a senator from the other party, those two aren't going to agree on anything. That's the world we live in. So we already know that. So I think it's falling on deaf ears. Go ahead, do it, man. Get it over with. Run your own thing. Go form whatever you want to form. Go ahead.
New coach Will Stein says Kentucky will win big, quote, because of me, close quote.
That's exactly what I said in 2002 when we started this show.
Will win big because of me.
Yeah, you doubted me.
Close quote.
Everybody in the world doubted me except one person, me. And my old lady. That's it. I hear you.
That's why coaches get all the money. They're going to win because of them. Might sound weird for him to say it, but nonetheless, that's why they're paying coaches the big money. Josh Heupel confident in Tennessee's offense. Got options at quarterback. Tennessee in the playoff 2 years ago. Got worked by Ohio State. See if they can get back in. Missouri's Ahmad Hardy healed from a gunshot wound. His status still to be determined. Not sure I understand that. If he's healed, why isn't he ready to go? He's second leading rusher in the country last year.
It's antitrust. You just don't have it. So what you're saying is you don't have trust in that statement. So you have antitrust.
LSU cancels the future football series with Arizona State. The off-delayed and now canceled series. You probably knew this. I was surprised to read the 25-year history of we're playing, we got to bounce it back a few years, we got to bounce it back again, and now we're not doing it. LSU series with Utah is still on the books, at least for now. We'll see. It's just part of them going to 9 SEC games.
Yeah, I don't understand why they have to cancel these things. It doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I don't care. It's not anything I'm going to lose sleep over, but it doesn't make any sense to me why you have to cancel it.
DJ and PK.
Hashtag Major League Baseball.
Now you hack away, I think. Or maybe you try to bunt again. Yep, they're going to. The bunt is down, and it's fumbled by the first baseman, and the Royals win it.
3-0. It hits Adele, and the Angels walk it off in the bottom of the ninth. Wow.
Swung on and destroyed. It's on its way. Upper deck just short. Going sail away. Grand slam. Cal Raleigh.
First pitch to Turner. Swung on. Hit down the left field line. It is hooking. Fair. It hits the pole. It's a home run, a 3-run home run for Trey Turner. The Dodgers think it's in play. It is not.
Phillies end up beating the Dodgers 10-7. A wild game there. Phillies end up with the W. The Boston Red Sox walk off the Baltimore Orioles, make it 14 in a row, PK. How far are they going to stretch it out? Club record is 15. Here we go.
Well, baseball, it's just a crazy game in this way. The Cubs, at one point, lost 10 in a row. Mm-hmm. Before that, they had won 20 of 23. You just never know with this sport. That's what makes it exciting to a lot of different people is that you can get hot. Every team has the dream of getting hot. We've seen it with the Phillies. They sucked earlier, fired their manager, mm-hmm. and now they just beat the Dodgers. Bryce Harper hit his 200th home run. He turns 34 in November. He's not really a home run hitter in the true sense, but they got hot. And so that's the dream every team has of getting hot. And things go your way, and all of a sudden you become unstoppable.
Capture that lightning in a bottle, and suddenly you're the it team. Other games, the Angels come from behind to beat the Cardinals. You heard that, winning on a hit-by-pitch. The Angels, 106 games in a row without coming from behind in the ninth inning to win. By far the longest streak in the majors. They finally pull it off and get their come-from-behind ninth inning victory.
Is that right? You're reading that, aren't you?
No, I saw it last night.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
You just... And you're there for the people at all times.
Not necessarily.
Yes. Well, name me a time.
Some other stuff I didn't know. I didn't know Bryce Harper. That was home run 200. So there's that. And you heard Cal Raleigh go deep. Mariners beat the Reds 8-0.
After they walked a batter ahead of him. See, I got it right here, though.
I subscribed
to MLB.com, and it just says it right here.
DJ PK.
Look at it every morning.
Hashtag BYU.
BYU basketball releasing their 2026-2027 non-conference basketball schedule, guaranteed to face 3 teams to reach the NCAA tournament: Ohio State, Queens, and Utah State. Other potential interesting games: Omaha, San Diego State on the schedule, and PK, a tournament that catches your eye and brings memories flooding back.
Yeah, they're going to Maui, yeah. I've been there several times. It's a beautiful tournament. It's hard to do a lot of stuff there while you're there because they play those games in the middle of the day for TV purposes back in the mainland. But it's fun to be there. I've got many memories there. Bringing my parents and getting into the hotel, which is now a timeshare hotel over there on the west side. And we're going to stay in the room together. She immediately lights up. I said, "You can't smoke in here." "Oh, I'll just go out on the balcony." "You can't smoke on the balcony. They can smell it. They'll get charged $200. So she would get up every morning early and go outside, downstairs, and smoke. And they came, played Kapalua with my father the day after. Another time I was there, Thanksgiving Day, got a call from my sister. "Your father just had a heart attack." And he ended up living another 10 years. But he had the heart attack on Thanksgiving Day, and we were coming back that day. And that was, I went to Los Angeles, and instead of catching a flight here with my wife and kids, I took the flight over to Arizona. And that was when they were firing Gary Croton. And so I was bedside at the time, and somebody on that message board thing, the Cougar thing, said that I had been suspended. And meanwhile, Tom Holmoe calling me while I'm literally bedside to make sure, or to check in how everything is going, because where is he? And he found out, his father had a heart attack. And so on the message thing, they said that I had been suspended.
Oops. Forerunners to social media. Super accurate.
Yeah. But it's a good opportunity to play some quality competition, most likely.
Arizona, BYU, Clemson, Colorado State, Ole Miss, Providence, VCU, and Washington. Those are the 8 teams going out to Maui this year.
Yeah, maybe they would have Arizona and BYU in the opposite brackets.
Think so, having the 2 Big 12 teams there.
Yes.
Setting up the possibility of so many meetings between BYU and Arizona this year. Playing Maui, play a couple times in the regular season, play in the conference.
Well, certainly that would be attractive to us. I would like to see that in the final game on that Wednesday before Thanksgiving. I think they still play it on the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That'd be great. There's one other time there I was covering it, and the Utes were in it, and I think it was Indiana and Duke were in it, and so they had an open air Sunday press conference, and Donnie Daniels was sitting in for Majerus, and they had said Rick Majerus had a prior commitment, and as the thing is getting started, and there was Bob Knight talking. Here comes Majerus right out of the workroom, all sweaty, with a towel over his shoulder. That was his commitment.
Hey. Because Bob Knight has to show up doesn't mean he needs to miss a workout or a trip to the beach.
And those workouts really made a difference.
Clearly. So those tip times, basically you can have breakfast on the beach and then you go to the gym and go to work after brunch on the beach?
Yeah, you're there in the middle of the day.
Because the time difference to the East Coast must be like 6 hours.
Yeah. And that time I took my parents, my father, I got him a ticket to go to the game. And it's in the dinky. It's a bad high school gym. You know, high school gyms now these days are awesome. And this is an old
one.
Yeah, and it's basically a little civic center. So he was sitting right behind there's just bleachers, like 10 rows of bleachers. So he's sitting in the first row. And Majerus got a tee because it was a horrible call. And I got to give Majerus credit. He, towards the end, for like the last 7-8 years, he barely said boo to the referees. unless it was some foul discrepancy. Well, this one was like a travel, clearly right in front of him, and it should have been called, no question. So he goes back and slams the water cooler, and the thing pops open and spills on my father.
Well, now I remember that happening. Now I want to go back and see it.
And he, my father just didn't have the finances to do any of that stuff, and so he loved it. He just loved being there. I got him into the press room, and he loved that, and it was a great experience for them.
BYU will play exhibition games with Nebraska in the Marriott Center and UNLV in the Thomas and Mack Center. And that exhibition game at UNLV is their sole true road game. They're playing San Diego State and Palm Springs. So they will go out of state, but most of the games, Maui obviously, they're traveling. Most of the games at the Marriott Center, they do have a game with Northwestern in the Delta Center.
Yeah, a few years back, Palm Springs built a nice regular-size arena just on the east side of I-10. And so that's a great opportunity there. And that's a series that should continue. It's usually two pretty good teams. They've obviously been playing each other for years. I like that they can continue to do that, wherever it might be, if it's home or away, or in this case, neutral. I really don't care. It's a good game that people will pay attention to.
They also have Ohio State at the Delta Center. So Monday, November 2nd, that should be a tough ticket, right? You'd like to think?
Yeah. I suppose. Delta Center's pretty big, but yeah, Ohio State's, they're not what they are in football, obviously, but it's better than Chico State. No offense to Chico State.
DJ and PK.
#golf.
Live Golf sued for more than $1 million by a technology company alleging unpaid bills. One more warning shot about the future of Live. Doesn't really sound like Live is arguing either. They're not paying it, so you got to sue them, but they're not really arguing that they're behind on the cash. DJ and PK.
#NHL.
Barrett Hayton meeting with the media relieved after the Utah Mammoth matched the offer sheet. He is back for another year. And if you missed his long conversation with Cole Bagley, get it wherever you get your podcasts. It's up on YouTube. It's up on KSLSports.com. It is available lots of places.
Yeah, he wants to be back. He wanted to be back. He was relieved. This is where he wanted to be. But the system required him to do what he needed to do there and go forth on that.
Get an offer.
Yeah, and so they match it, and he'll come back and be part of the nucleus, and away we go. A couple months away now.
See how this season goes for him individually and the group, and then he'll be back and be a restricted free agent next season. 1 year, $4.775 million. What is trending? Brought to you by Shamrock Plumbing. There's no job too big or too small. Get the personal touch with Shamrock Plumbing. All right, DJ and PK, we're taking a break. When we come back, it is time for the question of the day. That is next. Stay with us.
Queen Carvania stood haloed by the morning sun. An army hung on her every word.
My champions, I have sold my chariot on Carvana. 'Twas a lovely SUV, an inexplicably queenly offer. They're even coming to the castle to collect it. Tonight, we feast. An offer you can feast on. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
This is Utah's best coverage of the Utes, Cougars, Jazz, and Mammoth. Here we go. From the guys who have been there for all the biggest moments in Utah sports history. You're listening to DJ and PK on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Join Scotty G, the coach, Thursday from 10 to 2. They'll be at Tim Dolly Mazda in Sandy, 10785 South Automall Drive. DJ PK, the question of the morning, which is really the question of the decade. Or maybe it's a question of 2 decades.
My life.
Pretty much. Do you think a move out of the Big 12 is required for BYU and Utah to play big-time football. And I think Matt speaks for me and people of my generation when he says, I'm old enough to remember when BYU and Utah both thought being in a power football conference was a fever dream. Now we're asking if the Big 12 is big enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are, Matt, but I get it. Excellent perspective. Back in the days of the WAC in the 80s and 90s, please, come on. That's a crazy thought. Getting into the Big 12 sounded awesome at that point. Sounded like it couldn't happen. I got tired of talking about it. And then it happened for the Utes in the Pac-12. And now it's happened for both of them in the Big 12.
Well, I would say since about 2015, 2016, I thought it was going to happen for BYU in the Big 12.
Yeah, I can see that. It trended that way.
Based on intense conversations and how they had people in the Jazz organization who were working on it for them and putting together packages and all that.
There was, in that era, they did a presentation, and the word came back that they were Team 11, but there was no Team 12, so the conference didn't make a move. But at that point, there had been so many changes in the big football leagues, and there were expected to be so many more.
It's only a matter of time.
Right, exactly. It's going to happen. Either they'll need a 10th team or they'll want to add a 12th team, and it turned out both those things happened.
Yeah.
They needed a 9th team.
Now, at no point at that time did I ever think they would be conference mates, speaking of Utah and BYU, in the Big 12, or for that matter, anywhere, because the Pac-12 had dug in, hypocritically, I might add, because they had no problem playing them.
BYU, but didn't want them in the league.
Yeah.
But it did look like it was going to settle into a Utah be in the Pac-12 and BYU will be in the Big 12. You could foresee that.
That's what I thought.
But there were so many changes that came that we couldn't foresee, including that entire league breaking up and people going to 4 different leagues. Still sounds crazy to say, but nonetheless it happened.
Yeah, and I was excited for that. Now, I always wanted them to be in there, BYU, to replace Colorado.
You were excited for what when you said that?
To have one be in the Pac-12, one be in the Big 12. Because we dreamed of and talked about a situation where an SC would be at Rice-Eccles and at the same day
Oklahoma or Texas would be at BYU, and it sounded like, again, back to what Matt said, a fever dream.
Yeah. But I thought that was from 2016, 2015, somewhere in there, I thought that was a legitimate possibility. Mm-hmm. I felt it was only a matter of time. The BYU situation, whatever the hang-ups were for the Pac-12, you talk to Ronald Fehlberg, and he'll say religious discrimination and so forth. The Big 12 didn't seem to be bothered by that as much. And so it was going to happen in that way, I thought. And then obviously the crumbling of the Pac-12 was shocking.
We got 1 year of the Pac-12, Big 12, and we did get it because Oklahoma came in and played BYU. But even the year it happened, we knew it was a 1-year deal.
Right, because they had already announced it.
The Pac-12 was already splintering.
Well, and yeah.
And Oklahoma and Texas were on their way out, and everything was changing.
Right.
And I think that's my answer to this. Do you think a move out of the Big 12 is required for BYU and Utah to play big-time football? Not in the current setup, but if everything is going to be changing again in the way everything changed from 2015 to 2025, then the answer to that may well end up being yes. But I think that's dependent on everything changing. I think as things are set up now, you can play big-time football.
Well, we're looking ahead. It's not right today. It's not this season. We understand that. It is what's down the line. And so what we're looking for down the line, can we look to the way it was? Did they play, I guess you put the quality qualifier in there, big time enough? When they're going to the Sugar Bowl and beating Alabama, they're not viewed as big time. Mm-hmm. Well, they were. They beat Alabama, and I realized Nick Saban was in the process of getting it going.
It was year 2.
But it was still Alabama. I am sick and tired of our teams beating big dogs
and
having
an explanation. Yeah. They didn't want to be there.
Right,
says Dan Patrick when he comes through town doing interviews.
I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
I'm sick and tired of whether BYU or Utah beats somebody who's really good, brand name. Maybe they're not that great that season, but yet if they get smoked, it's never, BYU Utah was having a down season. That doesn't go both ways. So I'm sick of that. I'm tired of that. And that was one of the few times I was in the press box friggin' openly rooting for one of the locals. I always did it when I went to New Mexico for basketball because they sat you in like the 10th row right in the middle of the fans.
Surrounded by people who are animals.
Yes.
Screaming and throwing
and
stuff.
you had to look on the baseline over there at the Sore Rat. And
could you see the whole court, or with everybody's fans standing up, did you end up getting screamed? Because sometimes on the road I had that problem.
You'd have to stand up. I mean, because they packed the place in New Mexico. Great fan base and all. So, but it would be like towards the end of the game, they wouldn't stand up because most of this, it's like Arizona. Most of the fans are 65 years old.
Students are the ones who get on their feet and stay on their feet. They provide all the energy.
And then in that Sugar Bowl, that was right when I had made the transition over from hardcore, neutral at all times print, and they put me in the radio section, which was new to me at the time. And I'm over there, and I'm watching these Alabama people. And it was just so foreign to me. It's like you placed me in a situation that I had never been after having been in the business for over 20-some years. And it was awkward. And then I figured, what the crap? If this is the way it's going to be?
Okay, fine.
Yeah. So I'm going to start cheering up a storm when the Utes. I would have never have done that because you can't do that in a regular press box. But in the Sugar Bowl, they had a separate area for radio TV, which didn't have the same I am the jurist of the world and I will save democracy attitude that print journalists, to this day, it's a dying breed, unfortunately, but to this day they have. It's why I call the paper I worked for the Watchdog, because they believe that democracy in this town will crumble if the newspaper would go away, and I tend to agree with them. Not crumble, but I certainly don't want it to go away. So I figured, what the heck? And so they already did that, and they had guys, half that defense played in the NFL. So they got guys that weren't in what we would now consider the power structure, and they still sent dudes regularly to the NFL. In that case, I think literally 5 or 6 defensive starters played in the NFL.
They did. You remember correctly. That's how it happened.
Right. So they didn't need to be in the so-called power league to get that type of talent.
In 2008, they had everything. They had 99% of the deal. It's that last 1% of respect. They were undefeated. They did get to play in a major bowl game. They did get to play a big-time team. They got to play some big-time teams that were really good along the way in the regular season. But there is that 1%, like, you're undefeated. You don't get to play for the title. We'll never vote you for the title. But the fans loved it. The stadium was sold out. People traveled in massive numbers. So you had everything in big-time football except that last 1%, which some people would say, well, DJ, that's the most important 1%. Well, I think that's a subjective deal. It's got maybe it is to you and it isn't to the next person.
That's gone now anyway.
Now you got a 12-team playoff. And that version of that team would have certainly qualified. They'd have been the team in as a G5, G6 school, and they'd had their chance to prove it on the field. And Bama would have been in as a runner-up.
Yeah.
It would have been a quarterfinal game.
Tell me why they need to be in these groups to get what you have. There's no way, there's just simply no way, and maybe that's just a wish, that the SEC can do their thing and then have a playoff, and all of a sudden we don't have a playoff. The TV people aren't going to buy that. They don't want that. If the SEC does this, they become the Live. A high-powered, more interested Live golf. It'll fracture, and then no.
If everybody else stays together, and that happens, I can totally see your point. If the Big Ten pulls away and does their own thing, I can see them both doing their own interior playoff or whatever.
And the public won't accept it.
And then they play like a Super Bowl.
No, the public won't accept it.
I do think a big part of the public won't accept it. No. I mean, it's still, they'll have enough viewers, they'll play the game, and they'll make the money. It won't be the same. And I do think that in that scenario, then the West goes the way of the Northeast. In college, you don't have so many places in the West don't have a horse in the race. It's like, well, why does it matter?
Well, then the ACC and the Big 12 can have theirs. And then
you have
the
a mess.
AAC and the Pac-12 and the Mountain West and the
so
Sun Belt does theirs.
So do they all sign their TV deals, and we have 3 to 5 to 10 years of a mess, and then it all reforms and looks like something again?
I just don't see it. I think at that point, where I said 2 senators, if they're of the different parties, they don't agree on anything, they'll agree on that.
Yeah.
Because it's going to make the objective of a politician is to get elected or to get reelected. And you got to be popular.
Those are the 2 goals.
TV sportscasters and anchors and politicians, they're the same people. It's all about popularity.
If you don't have popularity, you don't have a gig.
Yeah.
Therefore.
And you crumble if your popularity, whereas in print, it's like, bring it on. I love it. Hate me all you want. I covered Preps in Pedro, and Mary Starr Catholic School started a petition to get me removed.
So the Democratic senators from Illinois will agree with the Republican senators from Indiana. And the Republicans from Iowa will agree with the Democrats from Pennsylvania because they're all represented in the Big Ten.
And the ham bone is connected to the tailbone. Yeah. So at that, you'll have a national uproar.
This is a rare thing where it could be the senators from Nevada or North Dakota. Doesn't matter party. They could be going the opposite way. What are you doing? Hawaii senators. Hawaii getting cut out. No chance. No chance to live the dream. And Alaska's got no dog in the hunt, so who are they voting for? They're trading their vote for some other issue.
If the SEC could do it, they would have done it instead of talking about it. And next year, depending on what happens, is SAVE, ACT, blah, blah, blah. And keep me abreast of the antitrust stuff because that's your thing. And so then we'll go through it again. And they'll be threatening again. Well, they keep crying wolf, guys. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Because each time you do it, it's like, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
They're saying stuff for leverage. And your point that you made yesterday, how much, what do they really want? How much do they need? What does the stripped down bill look like? Because negotiating all the stuff and getting it through, it's hard to believe the votes are there for.
Sure.
But you might find a few things you can agree on.
That's the way it works.
And is that good enough?
I don't know if you know this, but that's the way antitrust works.
It's not the way antitrust works, but it is the way it is the way Congress used to work.
You have to have trust in people. And if you don't have trust in people, what do you have? You have antitrust. You follow that, Alex? I'm making sense here. You're a younger guy. Your mind is fresher. You're 26 now. Your brain has been fully formed. Scientists tell us. Only been a year, but I've noticed a big difference in you in this last year as your brain is fully formed. If you don't have trust, what do you have? You have antitrust.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, he just keeps talking. That's a good, solid answer, Alex. Don't engage. Don't engage.
There's no need to engage with truth.
Yeah.
It speaks for itself.
That's the definition of antitrust.
Exactly.
You can't even say that with a straight face, Alex. He's in there cracking himself
because
up.
He gets it. Uh-huh. Yeah, he do.
No, what he gets is you.
I'm not the begotten.
Nah, sometimes you are.
If that were the truth, I'd be the only begotten on this show.
Darren wants them to stay. Expanded playoffs, stay in the Big 12, and grow. And Cam Potter says, I think the Big 12 is perfect for these teams.
I don't know that anything is perfect. But my standard is well enough, good enough, strong enough, those types of things.
How much change would the Big 12 need to undergo before you felt like a move had to happen? Because I think right now you don't think a move has to happen. You think they're playing big-time football. The way you talk about it, the way you...
I think when Arizona comes in here the second week of September against BYU, that is big-time football. And the TV people are telling me that that's big-time football because they slotted it at 1:30, 3:30 back east. So all the stuff they have to do on Saturday is over at that point. And you can sit down and watch the game. So they're telling us it's big time. So, yes, I do. I believe it is.
So how much change would the Big 12 have to undergo?
I think there'd have to be something that denied access. That's the thing. When you just spoke about the Utes in 08, they did everything, and they still couldn't be voted in. I mean, that's basically what we had.
That was the era of the BCS title game.
Yeah.
They weren't allowed to play in that one game, and you had to play in that one game for the voters to vote you number one. And Kyle famously stood up there on the podium and said, well, I'm going to vote us number one. We're undefeated.
I was in the audience, and I stood up and applauded. I said, you go, boy.
TV mics didn't pick you up, unfortunately.
Well, I thought of it. And that was the year that BYU played 3 undefeated teams, and one of them was SC. And after the game at Rice Eccles, Brady Papinga, who played many years in the NFL and kind of a nut job sometimes, but he also knows what he's talking about, stood right in front of him, and he said, this team, speaking of Utah, was right there with SC. He said it right after the game. He told his version of the truth, and he was out on the field. He talked about how the schemes and blah, 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 everything. So he spoke from a level of truth, but yet they couldn't. So if it gets to that point, then there's an issue because then it'll go back. We'll go back to the future of what Chris Hill said. I can tell every single athlete that we bring on campus, man, woman, you can play for it all except football. And he would openly say that.
Yep.
And
he said it multiple times.
If it gets to that point, you sort of got me then. But I just can't see it being to that point without a national uproar. We've handled the transfer portal. There's uproars, but no one's really doing anything about it. And we've handled the money, and we've handled coaches bailing on their teams when you're all in or in the way. Family money on 3 for the NIL and all that other stuff. We've handled it. The public has spoken. It's crazy, but we still love it. And something's got to change, but we still love it, right?
Hard to argue that when you look at the last 30 years, man. So much has changed, and if anything, we love it more than ever.
Last 5 to 10.
Last 5, yeah. It's really been constant change. It hasn't really...
Right, but it's been... The constant change was similar. These last several years, the change has been unprecedented.
More dramatic, yeah,
and it was never had done. They were being paid, but it was all under the table type thing and blah, blah, blah. And then I see an executive hand a player an envelope, and I go, I mean, I've known about this for years, but you can't do that in front of me.
Actually, by the time it was done in front of you, it was totally legit and above board.
Right.
Yeah.
And it just made me laugh that I'm old enough to think, and I had stories, I knew of them, I was told of them, blah, 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 blah.
Specific names and teams.
And I just rolled with it. And,
which all matched up with what you'd seen.
Yeah. And so we went in that direction, and they handed him the envelope with the cash inside or the check inside. And I actually thought, this is the way it should be. Now, it's spiraled. It's crazy, and it's unfortunate. My Devils lose a quarterback and a running back because of money. And one goes to Texas, one goes to LSU. And 3 years ago, I told you about a backup infielder that an SEC team, an athletic director told me, a starter on his team, baseball, they lost him because the other school in the SEC wanted insurance in case their middle infield, short or second, got hurt. So they're going to pay the kid $250,000 to sit on the bench and be an insurance policy. And he took it because it was way more money than he was getting. It was more than double than what he was getting as a starter. In that case, it would have been Pac-12. Or Pac whatever. I know not all the teams played. Only Colorado had a team, but you get the point.
I literally told that story to a friend of mine. Her grandkid is an athletic prodigy. And in this whole pay-to-play environment, in the sport he's in, which I'll tell you in a second, in the sport he's in, he's got these adults who are like, hey, you need to come join this group and pay this amount of money. You know, we'll coach you up. And he's already shown a lot of promise that's measurable. And then, so he was talking to a guy he knows who's a couple years older, who's already been recruited, who's in the SEC, and he said, be careful about injuries from too much training because they will overwork you trying to prove how tough they are. But as far as the money, you'll pay that back with your NIL in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. PK, they're running track. They're paying track stars in the SEC. That's not the first sport you think would get NIL. And she said, does that ring true to you? And I said, and she knows about you and listens to the show sometimes. I said, yeah, here's a PK story. And I told her that infielder story. And she goes, it's all true. And I'm like, yeah. In the SEC it is. I don't think you're getting that kind of money, if you're running at Weber State.
Oh, right.
Right.
Well, that's why
it's
they're
an
going
SEC
there.
thing. Right. I said that's why they're leaving Arizona State. It's like.
I didn't say Arizona. Oh, you.
But the Arizona State baseball story. Yeah.
No, I didn't say Arizona State baseball. I said Arizona State football. But
Okay. Arizona State football.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, that's why they're leaving some schools and going to others. And you can, first off, you can guess. You're not getting that money at UC Santa Barbara. You're not in anything.
Yeah, but you're trading other stuff for it, though, man.
There it
Pretty
is.
sweet to me.
Well, the kid's been to a camp there. He did. They ran on the beach every day, and he thought that was fairly awesome.
That's until we get to that point, I say stay where you are and let your mark do his thing.
Mostly people agree with you. There's a couple exceptions. We'll get to them next. Stay with us. DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Best thing that's ever happened to you financially. Go.
Easy. Sold my car on Carvana. Amazing offer.
Really? I hit 200 on the scratcher.
Did the scratcher come to your house and hand you a check?
No.
How many scratchers did you hit to get that? I hit a button on Carvana.com once.
Okay, that's fair.
It's like the lottery, except you always win.
Not like the lottery at all, actually.
Exactly. Inexplicably good. Offers worth bragging about. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
Over 2 decades of sports radio dominance in Utah. My favorite. This is DJ and PK on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Win big tomorrow on the KSL Sports Zone with Win Tickets Wednesday. This week, you win a pair of tickets to see Post Malone with special guest Jelly Roll at Carter Faith at Rice-Eccles Stadium on July 28th. Tickets are on sale now at LiveNation.com. Get your tickets today and listen to KSL Sports Zone all day tomorrow for your chance to win.
That's why he's playing Posty right now. I get it. I'm on to you.
Alex knows what he's doing.
I had to introduce him to Post Malone last time he subbed, but...
He did introduce me to Post Malone.
He had some help.
Do you think a move out of the Big 12 is required for BYU and Utah to play big-time football? Most of you are saying, no, it is not. Now, there are a couple people who dissent. Jason, Utah was in the Pac-12 for 12 years, and trust me, Utah's been there. Been in the big time, and the Big 12's not the same.
Wait, U12. I was in it for 45 years.
Jason agrees. He says USC, UCLA, Oregon, Washington, or TCU, Texas Tech, K-State, and Kansas. Basically, they're saying they want the sizzle that comes with a big brand name, and that's what the Big 12
but
is
it went
missing.
away. No, the Big 12, no.
To them, it's not the big time without
because
the sizzle.
they missed it because it was fun to go to, and that was your conference, and it's not, and you're trying to hold it over BYU's head. I get it. There's politics involved in everything.
Brand names matter, and people want sizzle. Although the brand names, as we're seeing, the brand names can slip, and it's not really big-time football. You can have big-time football without a glossy brand, but people want some people want both.
What university's football program dominated the offseason in discussion and talk?
Texas Tech.
Yes.
For the wrong reasons.
Doesn't matter.
There is no bad publicity, Mark Cuban. Back to
Texas. Well, there is, but I don't think
that wasn't enough, right? Yeah. They want the sizzle that goes with the steak. And USC has gone to Provo, and Notre Dame has gone to Provo, and Notre Dame's going again, and the sizzle matters there. There is a little bit, I'm sure, of the whole Utah, BYU, the rivalry and all things. But both fan bases have reacted pretty positively when they got a chance to soak up the sizzle.
And people still talk about the Texas ASU game. It's just now what you need is your conference brethren to really do well. And that was foreign to some people. Now it really, really matters.
People will be taking note how the Big 12 performs.
Yes.
So it needs to perform.
If the Devils somehow go down to College Station and beat A&M,
that's a big win for the Big 12.
That is huge for everybody in the conference. Huge for the Devils, but huge for everybody.
And BYU beating Notre Dame, same deal.
The night following month, yes, absolutely. There's no question.
It gives the Utes more. If the Utes can beat BYU in November, it will give them more credibility if BYU is beating Notre Dame in October.
There's just no question about it. So I think that we've been talking about this, But now, because of this separation possibility, you need your conference members and teammates, so to speak, to really do well. That's a fact.
All right, DJ PK, we are taking a break. When we come back, more college football. A national voice checking in. Stay with us. DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Best thing that's ever happened to you financially. Go.
Easy. Sold my car on Carvana. Amazing offer.
Really? I hit 200 on the scratcher.
Did the scratcher come to your house and hand you a check?
No.
How many scratchers did you hit to get that? I hit a button on Carvana.com once.
Okay, that's fair.
It's like the lottery, except you always win.
Not like the lottery at all, actually.
Exactly. Inexplicably good. Offers worth bragging about. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.